Greetings, technology enthusiasts. I am Chandrahas and I am delighted to be here with you representing CyberBrainer. Do you not believe that the technology sector is advancing at an unprecedented rate, making this an opportune moment to acquire the skills that will facilitate your progress? With CyberBrainer, we are empowering you to take control of your own future. At CyberBrainer, we do not merely impart your interests. We assert that information is power, yet it is the application of knowledge that distinguishes you. Our courses are meant to equip you with essential skills, whether you are pursuing data science, understanding artificial intelligence, or delving into cybersecurity. Let us commence the session and seize the future today. Thank you.
Now we are going into the next topic, and that is custom organizations. When we talk about custom organizations, small topic. Again, I'm saying it's small topic, nothing much to worry, because you may not create it every day. It's not even created once also. That also is a possibility. Now, why is that? Because custom organizations are those organizations which is taken care or created when you acquire or merge a company. When I say when you acquire or merge a company, what does that mean? Let's say Microsoft India or Microsoft, the parent company, they acquired LinkedIn. Right. Now they have acquired LinkedIn. Now LinkedIn has to be under Microsoft. But it is still an independent brand. Correct? It is still an independent company. What will happen? That there will be a person from LinkedIn who will start reporting to Microsoft management. But the complete structure of the organization will not change. Only somebody at the top can go ahead and start reporting. Or if they want to merge, there is a possibility that they will say, no, I want to completely merge the company. In that case, there is a possibility that they may even change the brand. They may keep something else, or they may even keep it LinkedIn, but it would be something else. In those cases, what happens? The company that is acquired or which is getting merged, it will not happen instantly. And you have seen that, right? Have you got any idea about mergers, or anybody has even got a chance to discuss? Maybe talk with anybody in your real-time system. Have you ever faced that? Any? The patients have gone through the merger, but not in the system. That's what I think. Till then, we did not have systems. Now we have. Generally, what happens when this kind of activity takes place, it does not happen instantly. It will take some time. Now, when it says it will take some time, what does that indicate? It indicates that whatever we are going to do, it will be a complete, purely business decision. Suppose I already have a company. I'm owning a company where I have 50,000 employees working with me. And now I want to acquire the company, which is fine. I'll go ahead and acquire. There is no problem, but that also has 10 to 15,000 employees. If I'm acquiring a company which has 10-15,000 employees, which means they already would have an HCM system, correct? Because how will they manage the people if they don't have a HCM system? Right. What is the HCM system? That is something that we have to understand. Is it something that they can continue using it without any challenges? They can go ahead and use it, provided I am not actually merging. I am just taking over. But if I am merging, is it required for me to move those employees under my payroll? If their payroll has to continue to run, then I don't need them on my payroll. In those cases, I will not move those employees under my umbrella. It will be again a separate entity. And here the concept of a division will come. It will be a new division which will be under my reorganization. But that will have an independent functionality altogether. It will not be exactly a part of my HCM system. Only 1 or 2% who is at the executive level at the other organization will start reporting to the top management. Now let's say I am the chairman of the other company and Microsoft says that I want to acquire you. And let's say they paid me very good. And then I said I'm to go ahead and let you take over my company. Now I'll get the money. Everything is done. Now if Microsoft wants me to continue, I'll not be the chairman, right? Because I have sold my company. Are you getting my point? If I say yes to work with Microsoft, I may be given a position. Maybe kind of a SVP or site lead or something. And I'll become an employee of Microsoft. I'll not be an independent owner anymore. Correct. When I become the employee, I am still working, as a head of the company. If they have kept me, they might keep me at the same position at the head of the company. But again, I am just an employee who is taking care of the company. Again, I will have a reporting manager now. That reporting manager may be the CEO of Microsoft or the chairman of Microsoft, whoever it is. I may have to start reporting to them because I am no longer the head. I have become an executive for them now. I am no more the owner. In most of that, situation, generally, the owner of the company quits. They will go ahead and get into another, venture or do something else. But they will not continue with the same organization. Although if they are continuing, then they will take such position and continue working. If I have to set this up, I will go ahead and set up using this custom organization, guys. And also let me tell you, when it comes about HCM, that will be the last thing to be upgraded. They will not upgrade it as soon as possible. Because when they have acquired a company, they have spent a significant amount of money already, right, to get that company. Now, once they have got the company, then they will see and study. Because they don't want the people to leave the organization immediately. Like you would have seen this Twitter fiasco, right? What happened when Elon Musk took over? What exactly happened? Do you guys remember? Do you guys, get through the news about it? Half of the team was fired. Even the CEO was fired. Right. They were all moved out of the organization. Because he was not happy with them. And they wanted that it should be a lean organization. It should not be, working in the same way how it used to work before. It was a complete transformation. And that is what happens when a company is acquired. The owner of the company definitely will have a good amount of, good chunk of money with them because they have sold it. But again, the employees are at stake. This is the harsh reality. But in case if you have to put that into the system, how will you do that? As I stated, if you are merging, then you will bring all the employees onto your HCM system. But if you are not merging, you are just acquiring it. Again, you need to build a custom organization that the reporting would be there. But it would be minimal. and you can get the reports and data through integrations. How do we do that? With the help of custom organization. How do we create it? The task is very simple. Create custom organization. This is how we do. Alright, there you go. See, it says custom organization type. What exactly will that be? Let's look at it. It will be basically a division, reorganization. The reorganization will be the same because I am bringing this new division under my umbrella. I'm clicking on. Now it will ask me for the name. What is the name that you want to keep? You can just name it, like you have Jaguar and Land Rover. Right, that got acquired by Tata. I hope everyone knows about it, right? Now the subtype. See, it does not give me division. I'll choose the nearest one. Kind of a subdivision. Visibility. I'll put it everyone because everyone should know that I've acquired it. And then I'll go ahead and click on. It will look very similar to what you have created before. It does not have anything special. The only thing is members. Now, if you want to put some members or bring some members, you need to basically hire them. Setting up the business process here. This is the place where we will set up everything that we will see in chapter 7. Not right now, but just to give you an update. Now, what are the things that you have here? It's exactly the same thing how you have the predefined organization. But the use of custom organization is entirely different. And again, as I stated, you may not create it. You may not even do it because it does not happen very, frequently. Once in a blue moon, the company goes ahead and acquires some. Right. It is not at all necessary that in your complete career you may create it. But when it comes to interview, there could be a question on custom organization. That's the reason we cover it. Because anybody can ask anything. Correct? Right now, if you see, it's exactly the same way how you have seen any predefined organization. Even if you have created a location, company, call center, these are the same things that you will see. Members, details, roles and security groups. Right? The same things, you also see it here as well. Is there any question on this? That you have not understood any conceptual part? Devashish, in custom organization also, we have to create location hierarchy or? No, not required. No, not required because see, you may go ahead and choose it. Because now that you have created it here, right? You can access all these things. Your location, your company cost center, everything is there. Yes, you may require to create a cost center because see, at the end of the day, the money is going to come from the parent company only. Whenever it is flowing to them, you need to have a record of it. Correct? As per as the reporting is concerned, for example, the headcount report. Now, these are the acquired, employees, and we have just created a division. How are we going to see the complete headcount for the company? We will not see it here because what did I say? I'm not going to. Then what is the purpose of creating this? There are two things I stated. What was the first thing? I said that I'm just going to create a reporting structure. The top people in that group will start reporting to reorganization, right? Another thing was merger. I said I am not going to go ahead and merge a company, right? There are two things which I spoke about in which you need a customer organization. If I'm going to merge a company, in that case, I will bring all the employees to this HCM system. And if I'm not merging it, I will keep on using their existing HCM system. Whatever reports you are requiring or you are requesting, it has to be the HCM system. And generally, this is a practice which is followed. Does it make sense? Because if the company is already existing running, they will have a HCM system. Everybody agrees with that or not? If they have an HCM system, why would you spend money to bring all of them into this HCM system? It's not an easy task also because it requires a lot of funds. And I told you right initially itself that you have spent significant amount of money acquiring the company. Is it a wise decision to spend another amount of money bringing all the employees back to your own HCM system? Do you mean to say that the division has seen a few members right from the other company, where they have another HCM system? Will these members be members of both the HCM systems? They will be members of both the HCMs. They will manage other different things like not only the headcount, but also the performance management or compensation increments. Everything is done in the other HCM system. What did I say? That you are not changing anything. Here, for the sake of reporting structure, you are going to add. Exactly. That is only you are doing. In case of merger, everything will shift here. Your performance, your time tracking, your leave and absence, everything will come here. Imagine that how many licenses you would need to acquire. 15,000 plus, right? If there are 15,000 employees. Now you got 50,000 employees there. Now you are acquiring 15,000 licenses. Again, what you would need? You would need the development team to start bringing those employees to this system. Now, which is not an easy task and it will not happen in one day. It will take at least 6 months to 1 year because you are implementing a complete new setup. Correct? Right. It is again a business decision that if the team really wants to do it, they will do it. There is no problem. If the company feels that that is the right way of doing it, then they will do it. If they have money and they want that it should be under one HCM system, then they will do it. But again, it will take time. It will not happen instantly. In that meantime, they will keep using the old HCM system. If their old HCM system is good enough, then they will not do this. If they are also using Workday, then they will never do that. I will be very honest with you because they will go ahead and build some integration. That's it. And then they will be able to exchange the data. Whatever they need, they can get it from there. And that is where your integration will come into picture. Now, whether you need a headcount report, whatever you would need, everything can come from there. And that you will see when you go into the integration topic, which is our chapter 10 and 11. Right now, we are into our first chapter only. Alright? It is second, not first. I'm sorry. Is that clear to everybody? What did I talk on? Custom organization. Alright? As I stated, this is a very small topic but very important. Crucial because it could be an interview where you can be asked these kind of questions. Again, as I stated, it is not necessary that you will build it, but you never know. But in case you get a chance to do that, or it may be a possibility that you may get interview questions, that's the reason I covered this And now comes the most important part of HCM system, which is supervisory organization. But before I start that, I hope everyone is clear on custom organization. Is there any questions, doubts, confusion? Please ask me. If not, then I'll move on to the next part, which is supervisory organization. Alright, I don't hear any questions, guys. Now I'll move on to the supervisory organization. Now why I said it is the most important part of the organization system. Because it is the supervisor who is going to run your company. Now that supervisor means it's basically your manager. Manager basically means it could be anybody who has people reporting to them. Now their designation can be anything. It could be a CEO, CTO, CFO. What matter? When you talk about a company, how is that company created? That also you have to see. If it's a private company, how many owners are there? Let's say there are 2 owners. Then how is that split between them? Is it like, 50, 60, 40? Or whatever the percentage of division? Now as per that, who is the owner of the company that decides it? But let's say it's a public company. Now if it's a public company, you will have a lot of stakeholders. You will have the chairman. You will have board of directors. In fact, in private company also, you will have a board of directors. It is not like that. Again, those information and everything will be internal. But when you have a public company, you will have to, basically share all the details publicly, that everyone who has invested in your organization is aware of any developments which is going on in your organization. I will show you a structure right now. If you see this, a kind of structure, you have someone who is a owner of the company or the chairman. They are not getting hired in the company, right? Someone who is a board of director, they are not getting hired. They are basically the stakeholders. They have some percentage of the company. How the company has been divided, that depends upon, the owners of the company. We don't have any say in that. It is also a possibility that the chairman and the C might be the same person. There is a possibility that the chairman and the CEO may be the same person. In case the chairman is not able to perform the duties of a CEO, what will happen? They will hire a chief executive officer. Similarly, for Google is owned by some other people, right? Who is the CEO of Google? I hope you can hear me fine. Panjri? Something like that. Sundar Pichai. Sundar Kek. Sundar is the CEO of Google. Now you see what here. You have hired him, right? He is not the owner of the company, the chairman and board of directors of Google. Separate. Correct. Yes or no? And they are the owners of the company. Now you have hired. Similarly, there will be a CTO. Similarly, there will be a CIO. How? Now they are the different verticals in your company. Now when I say different verticals, which means they own or the other department within the company. If it's a product company, there will be a chief technology officer who is going to build technology for you. If it's a manufacturing company, then there will be chief manufacturing officer who actually makes sure that every manufacturing being done, it is also be, produced quality. CIO stands for Chief Information Officer, who takes care of your internal application, software, hardware, whatever you need, your network, your system, everything has to come from this particular department. Say Chief Financial Officer. Now there is to make sure that your finances are running absolutely fine. If they find there is any negligence or there is any, corruption or anything, they are the people who has to report to these people, right? Then come that Chief Human Resource Officer, and they are the team who is going to use Workday system the most. At the end of the day, it is your who has to approve HCM system they have to use. Even the will take the permission, not the permission, but approval of wants to use work, have to go ahead and acquire that license. Even the CEO will not be able to say anything, can also not say anything, because it comes under the domain of. If you will see any HCM system, people, they will always try to coach because they are the decision makers that what software and licenses which are they going to use in system. All right, I hope you understood what I'm trying to say here. Anybody has any confusion? That's true. All right, let's discuss what a CEO does in a company. What do you think? What is generally a roles and responsibility CEO? It is as good as chairman or board of directors. In absence, it's not. It's not like that. If he is hired as a CDO, he is not as good as a chairman or board of directors. Be a trusted advisor for a chairman or a board of directors, but he does not have as equal power as. We cannot say that that person has the same, right? Chairman or board of directors. Roles and responsibilities would be they will take care of the exec structure of the company. If you want to hire any, they will have a lot of say in that. At the end of the day, chairman reach out to see structure. That's the first thing. Second thing that they will have to have lot, because being a CEO, you need to be a salesperson. You have to sell your company. You have to be the public of the company? Everyone know Satya Nadella, right? Who is the CEO of Microsoft? But who is the chairman? We don't know, actually. Right. Do you know who is the chairman? Right. Who is the owner of Google? Who? Everyone will. You know, Sundar Pichai? Right. Basically, if somebody, they may not be the chairman. In case Microsoft is right now the chairman because he has got the highest shares, but they have been headed by the board of directors. He has been made the chairman right now, but actually he was not. You talk to her if you go ahead and understand who is the chairman of Google. Somebody else, not Sundar. It all depends upon how much you have. There is a person called Hennes. He is the chairman of Google Alpha, basically. And Sundar Sun has been hired similarly as will be hired, will be hired, will be hired in some company. You might see even the CTO may report to C. That is also a possibility, and might report to chairman. That is also a possibility because at the end of the day, it is the CEO who is responsible for the organizational structure. But if CEO is not being given that much amount power, it will be this kind of structure that all the C-level executives who report direct to the chairman, they will have their own set of responsibilities for a C, public relations, your sale and marketing, your organizational structure, and then, you know, how the product is being, doing in the market. They will be more like a public face for the company. When it comes to C, they will be the person who will always be in the back end. They will never confront there is a product lot or something. No, will even know who's a CIO of the company. They have a public, additional responsibility of public relations. Their job is to give the company its hardware, infrastructure, its network, making the company's infrastructure, keeping the system, up and ready to cross it. They will have different departments to do that. They will be the most important people because they are taking care of your finance. Everyone, every department will be dependent. Oh, if does not release the budget, no one is able to do anything, right? And if there is any miscalculation, he or she is responsible for that. They have their own responsibilities. Coming on to the Chief Human Resource Officer, they are equally important because if you don't have people in the company, with whom you are going to survive, Chief Human Resource Officer cannot work or any of this. Exec cannot work alone. They will have their own team, like 8 to 10 people reporting to them at least. For C, you have seen that is your marketing, public relations. There is another very important position called Chief Operations Officer, they might directly report to the CEO because they are looking at complete operations. Right? You have, you can say support, how the product support is doing. How is the market actually? What is the market telling you about your products, right? All those things. Is it is under? Then you have the number of technology that you have built. Let's say you have different products. All that product is being taken care by this particular team. Then you have is basically the information officer. What I am trying to tell here, they will all have subordinate. They will all have the sub departments. Each department is basically called a supervisory organization. Will have its own supervisory organization. Will have its own supervisory organizations. There is one more catch here. Even the chairman will have or her supervisory organization. When a CEO will be hired in chairman's supervisory organization, they cannot be the owner of the same supervisory organization where they belong. If this person is going to be hired, it will be a position which will be created in this supervisory organization. Same thing for C. If C sales a vice president, that person will report to CEO, which means that position will be created in a supervisory organization which is owned by C. Will have its own department. Whenever we create a supervisory organization, always remember going to be a department as the best practice of work. Is there anybody who has any confusion on this? Because I spoke at length on this. If you have any question, please clarify. I am going to go ahead. Basically, create a supervisory organization. I have got one question. As you mentioned, their own, they can't be their own supervisor organization for board of directors, for example, because they will. Would you then create exec for them? They are reporting to them, or would that work, or is that something that we shouldn't be bothered about? What I'm trying to explain here is, you said that how will this board of directors and chairman will be there? They're not basically hired. They're already present in the system. Stakeholder. What I'm trying to say is that if they have to be represented in the system, they would be part of this supervisory organization. But again, they're not the active members. They are not going to take any executive role. They will just be a part of the governing body, which means that they will be nominated. It is not that they will be having an active role. If they have an active role, which means they have to take a position. What position that they take? It depends upon the roles and responsibility. These people will not be part of the active org chart. Does it make sense? What I was trying to do is, I was trying to create a supervisory organization. The task, create supervisory organization, reorganization, reorganization, right? What was the reorganization that we created? This is my reorganization, and I will go ahead and click on, let's say, I am creating a department called technology, terminology. What is the meaning of supervisory organization? I hope you all have understood, right? Supervisory organization is something which is created. If you have a supervisor, invoke that terminology. What do you understand by supervisor? Manager. Don't go by designation. Manager. Terminology used here. It could be a supervisor. It could be a team lead. It could be a manager, senior manager, director, senior director, whatever it is. Designations are different. But at the end of the day, they are leading a team. If they are leading a team, they are a manager. And if they are a manager, which means they will own a supervisory organization. Remember this. This is the most important part for a supervisory organization. What we are going to do, I am going to create one. If you see, I am using the same code because I want to use and identify that I have put that code mandatory. Now, what does it say? Include manage in name. If I don't have manage leader in the name, it does not mean that it is not a supervisory organization. But to show you that this department will be headed by a manager, that's the reason I have put the name here. Right now, when I create it, I will show it to you. It will have the name of the department and it will have a bracket which will be empty right now because we will not have a manager assigned. But once I start using this supervisory organization, I will have to assign a manager at the subtype. What is the subtype that I have stated for supervisory organization? Department. Department. There you go. Visibility. Everyone. You see, I am going to use something which I created earlier. What is that? Go. I think location. Location. Right? What did I say? All the predefined organizations I am going to use in my supervisory organizations because if I am creating a department, that department will be on a location, right? Which place? Right. It is a part of which company? If that is a department, there must be a cost center assigned to that. And in which region? If it is a global company, then which region this department is functioning, right? On predefined organizations will be utilized in this. I have created a location. Let us find it out. This is Mumbai, which I got created. I am going to use it. And now this is a staffing model. This is our next chapter. It is a small chapter concept right now. I am choosing the value as position management. But there are two, jobs and position. In what scenario? We will use position. What scenario? We will use job. What is the difference between them? All these things we are going to study in the next chapter. Right now, you can use that you can create it. Then come assign role. The role are not present right now. I am not going to assign it. We are going to study in chapter 6. Then come organization assignment. This is what we have created as predefined organization. Come car center. All the companies are there, whatever it has been created. If I want to use starter motor, I will go ahead and use it. There is a company hierarchy. That is also fine. There is no problem in that because at the end of the day, it is a company only. Cost center. I am sure I would have created something for technology. There you go. And the region. If the location is in Mumbai, what is the region, guys? What is the region that I have to choose? I can go ahead and choose a PC and I will go ahead and click on. Now you see, my supervisory organization is created. Right? Any question? How exactly it looks like? You see this bracket, which I was talking about. It is a blank bracket right now. When I assign a role of a manager, the name will come here automatically. Then come this detail talks about a visit and the location. Staff. We have selected the staffing model, right? We selected position. In place of that, if you selected job management, it would be job management. This will come later on. Security group and role is the part of chapter 6. Organization assignment. I have the predefined organizations that is here. Additional data. Will not worry even about that. Right? This is how supervisory organization is going to use everything. Since you have any questions, will this be reflected? Organization chart, because this is a separate organization. Everything that you have, it is now going to be represented here. That's the reason, right? Whatever you are going to use, whether it is location, company, cost center, even if you use that individually, it will automatically fall under a hierarchy after you create a supervisory organization. They remember that. And I also said, don't worry about the hierarchy right now, because at the end of the day, you can make it modify as per your requirement. And that's how we are going to do it. Under technology, let's say I'm going to create another subordinate, which is ER. The way of creating is I'll go to actions, go to reorganization, create subordinate. It is the practice which I asked you to do earlier. Going forward, you will not forget this step. Let's say I'm creating a department, a cot. I'll not include this, otherwise the name will be very big in its department. There is a concept which you will see now, which is called as inheritance. You may have heard this terminology, which is inheritance. I don't know if you have used this or not. Here you see, my primary location is not mandatory. And why is that? Well, I'm not going to fill that right now. I'm just submitting it. No, what Workday says that everything happens With the help of business process, you have submitted. And what does it say? View detail. Process successfully completed, right? There is a business process which runs in the back end. Every time you perform some activity, you see, this process has created a subordinate which is called as ERP. When I go into ERP, it has not the code. I'll have to edit it, guys, because if I don't edit, I will have some issues with it. I'll change the name. I want to do that. I did not include. There is something wrong. I did not include this one. That's the problem. And I'll go ahead and click on. That department is Scimitar Technology. This is my superior organization. And this is my subordinate. And now comes the concept which I wanted to discuss with you, which is called as inheritance. Now you see, primary location. Superior organization is, what is the primary location here? Mumbai. I did not put any value for my ERP department, which means, what will it do? Because you know that if I have to create a supervisory organization, location is mandatory. But when I'm creating a subordinate, it will inherit this value. You see, location inherited from superior. What else is inherited? Everything else is also inherited. Your staffing. I did not choose the staffing. I did not choose the roles. I did not choose the security group. Right? I did not even choose the organization assignments. Everything is inherited from the superior company cost center. Everything is here. You see that? This is the role of inheritance. Every time when we create it, it will follow. It is not necessary that you have to follow the same. If you want to change it, you can change it at any point of time. By default, inheritance will always be there. I'm not going to talk more detail about inheritance because you have to help me understand what is inheritance. First of all, a child node will obviously inherit the characteristics of the parent node. Whenever you have a parent node, if you have a child of the parent, the child will always have some or the other property which will be inherited. This is the main concept of your object-oriented programming also. Is there anybody who has learned SIPA? Do you have idea about object-oriented programming? Any? Right there, you would have understood a concept of inheritance, polymorphism, right? Abstraction. All these things are actually followed here. Inheritance, we are able to see. But at the, when you go into the backend system of Workday, you would not be able to see how they follow all this object-oriented programming, and that's the reason you have seen table in the system is actually behaving like a business object. That's the only reason why it has been created in such a way that it can follow concept object-oriented programming. Please do like, share and subscribe to our channel.